Shoe cleaning, shoe polishing, we're still doing tons of it. We're still giving money to charity, which is always a great thing. And lots of people are asking me, how do you get that shine? How do you clean them shoes? Well, the first thing, I'm going to show you. The first thing we have to do, we don't just take shoes in and polish them. We have to clean the shoes first before we polish them. And these are a good example of some of the things that come into us, and we get things an awful lot worse than this. These have just got a little bit of colour missing, a few scuffs, there's a bit of polish residue built up, so we're going to clean them. First thing we do, and I'm going to try and do this video in several things and stitch them together. Take the laces out, put the shoe trees in. So it's a pair of Loake shoes. Why shouldn't we be using a nice Loake shoe tree? A shoe tree takes all the creases out of the upper of the shoe, so we can clean into the creases, clean out the creases rather, and polish into the creases. We'll take the laces out because we don't want to be polishing shoelaces. These laces have passed the best anyway. So we'll put some new ones in. So once we've got the laces out, the shoe trees in, the shoes nice and straight, we're going to brush the uppers lightly first, just to get any loose dirt from the uppers. I'm then going to use a stiffer brush. This is a suede brush. And I'm going to scrub the top of the welt out and the sole edge, so any dirt and dust that's built up in there is all going to be cleaned out too. All that stitching which holds the shoe, the sole onto the shoe, is cleaned out too. So these shoes are ready really now for stripping, and to take away some of this dirt and staining, we're going to use this. It's called Renomat. It's a mild solvent mixed with a moisturising lotion, and that strips away polish residues. Any dirt and staining that will come off is all taken off with this and with this. Clip number 2, as soon as I've done them. Be back soon. Back again. I just wanted to show you this. I've put this liquid on here to clean all that polish residue and dirt and staining off, and you can see the darker patches on this upper where it's still wet. That's where the leather's taken more of this liquid in more readily, and that's because either there's less polish in these areas or maybe the leather surface is a little bit damaged, but we don't need to worry about that now. There's nothing else I can do with these until it's dry really, so to cheat a bit, to speed things up, I'm just going to use a hairdryer and dry these off. Little bit more to do, but you can just see as the leather's drying where I've taken the colour out of that leather, but we're going to restore it. This needs to dry a little bit more here of course, but as soon as that's nice and dry all over, then we'll go on to the next stage. Okay, so now we've got the shoes prepped and cleaned effectively, we're ready to start restoring a bit of colour. So the first thing I'm going to do is give them a good brush up, just to even out that surface, into the welt as well. And then to restore the colour on this particular shoe, this is a mahogany colour by Loake, we're going to use cognac cream, and that'll put us all the colour we need back into this shoe. Now you could, if you wanted to, just use this cream or any decent quality shoe cream. We also carry some of the shoemaker's own branded shoe creams and polishes in stock, but we're going to restore the colour with this cognac by Sapphire. And if we wanted to, once this is dry, just brush this up and you're going to get a good sheen on it, but we'll probably go for a little bit of a high shine on the toe, which we're going to effect with wax in mahogany colour. So I'm going to get on with these, get the colour on both shoes restored, get it right where we want it, and then we'll come back here when we start getting a bit of wax. You see the colour now in the toe cap is coming back. See, a little bit more on, get it nice and deep, and we'll be back soon. So back again, we've got the shoes, colour restored. I ought to mention at this point as well that we use a cream mostly for restoring the colour because there's a more colour pigment in cream than there is in wax. Cream of course as well, nourishing and moisturising the leather as you go. So these shoes, all they've had is the cream on, they've dried, and we've brushed them with a softer brush this time just to get that nice sheen. Not forgetting when we're doing this that we're cleaning and polishing the leather upper, but we've also got a leather welt, we've got a leather middle sole. These need cleaning, nourishing, moisturising, polishing, just the same as the uppers do. So that would be enough for most people, I would have thought. It's certainly very nice looking, very clean, well kept, well made shoe. But we're going to polish this up to a bit of a shine. We're going to bring the toes right up and give this guy something to shout about when he walks down the street. Back in a bit. I'm just showing you now. The next stage in this process is getting these toes up. The whole shoe first. We're going to polish the whole shoe with the wax polish rather than the cream, just to get a little bit more waterproofing and a little bit more shine across the whole shoe. But then we're going to build up layer on top of layer of wax polish on the toes outside of the creasing area. You don't be layering and layering polish where the shoe's creasing, because it'll just crack and flake off and it looks a bit unsightly. So it's important to remember, when you're layering polish up, we're polishing these shoes to a high shine, but we're not polishing the leather. The leather doesn't shine. It's the wax that shines. A little bit of water to set the wax as we go. And we'll just keep on from the toe, working backwards until we get that nice deep shine. And we can go as deep as we want, really, just by adding more and more layers, touch more water as and when required, but not too much. If you put too much water on, you can spoil it. Back in a little while. And we are almost there. Final polish. You'll have noticed too, if you've watched all of the video, that I've used one cloth, this one piece of cloth, to apply the creams, to apply the polish, the wax. I've not used a brush to put polishes on and a cloth to take it off or buff to a shine. I've used the one cloth, and I've not changed the position of the cloth for the whole process. So, because you don't need to. This is hand polishing or finger polishing shoes, and you can get any kind of result you want with this process and finish off literally with a bare hand. And there you go, that shoe is now ready for the laces, like this one. That's cleaned, nourished, moisturised the leather. It's colour restored the leather where we've had scuffs and scratches and a little bit of colour lost. We've put a little bit of patina in the shoe. We've got a bit of a shine on the heel as well as the toe. Mr. Watson, your shoes are ready, sir. Hope you like them.